Hi guys, welcome to the channel, or welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Justine, and our channel is a family channel surrounding infertility awareness, family building, marriage, parenting, and all things family basically. So if any of that interests you, if you're newly married, if you're a new parent, if you're someone struggling with infertility, please consider subscribing, like, share, subscribe, and I hope you find some references in this video. So today I'm going to be talking about things that surprised me about your body, your health, and generally postpartum, or even a little bit after postpartum, basically after becoming mom. So my daughter is now currently 17 months. She's almost 18 months. And so, it's been more than a year, and I'm here to kind of reflect back. I'm also here to tell you that certain things are beyond the 6 weeks, and that's what we're going to talk about. And certain things that just people don't talk about. Don't take any of this as medical advice. Some of it is kind of medical based, because we are talking about your body and postpartum and certain things. But it's based on my experience, and it's based on just my experience alone, which I only have one daughter. But it's not medical advice. I'm not a doctor, and any of that. So if you have any concerns about your own pregnancy, your postpartum health, or anything in between, please talk to your own doctor. The first thing I'm gonna say though is that one thing people don't talk about, like it's talked about but it's not talked about at the same time, is the difference and the reality of baby blues versus postpartum depression. So people will warn you that if you feel some type of sadness or some type of this or some type of that, that maybe you should get checked for postpartum depression. And that's true. And postpartum depression is a serious issue, and it's a serious thing that can happen with the hormonal shifts that happen after pregnancy. And you should always speak to your doctor, therapist, healthcare provider if you feel any like dread or anxiety or just mental, like if you feel not mentally okay after giving birth, especially if it lasts after the 6 weeks, because that's particularly when what they say is the difference between like regular, I guess, transitioning into motherhood, maybe what they call baby blues, like what I'm talking about, versus actual postpartum depression. Is that baby blues is supposedly only the first few weeks of after birth, and then it kind of goes away, and then postpartum depression will still last. But I wish someone would have talked more about, not that I don't wish that they talked to me about postpartum depression. I think it's very important, and I think it's very empowering to know before you give birth the signs of postpartum depression, how to deal with it, and the help that is out there. I definitely think that hospitals could even do a better job at talking about mental health after pregnancy, postpartum depression, postpartum anxiety, and all of those things. And I do think my hospital did a decent job. I do think more could have been talked about. But I'm specifically talking here about baby blues. So I only knew what baby blues is, and if you don't know what it is, I'm gonna try to explain it to the best of my ability. So like I said, baby blues is basically what they consider, there's a period of time when your baby's first born where it's kind of seen as normal to feel a little bit like not yourself, a little slight depressed, just kind of out of your element and just not your best self. But they say that the difference between that and postpartum depression is that it lasts. With baby blues, it's supposed to be like a temporary feeling, and with postpartum depression, it lingers after the 6 weeks. Don't quote me on this, I'm not an expert, I'm just saying what I've learned. And also with baby blues, it's due to the hormonal shifts. So there's like so much oxytocin that you get when you first give birth. You feel like you're on cloud 9, and then that shift is so dramatically dropped that that's what they say causes the baby blues. But it should subside, you know what I mean? It shouldn't be like this dreadful feeling, and it shouldn't be enough. It shouldn't be the dread of like wanting to harm your baby or wanting to harm yourself or any of those things. Like it shouldn't be that. It's just kind of like you don't feel yourself. You're kind of like in that transitional phase of a new mom, and you just feel a little out of it. And from my birthing classes, they did talk about the hormonal shift, and that it is normal, and if it does last, to talk to your healthcare provider. They did warn us about it in the birthing class, but that's because that was a birthing class that I chose to take. However, in my hospital healthcare team and all that stuff, honestly, they didn't really discuss mental health after pregnancy. They did a little bit, but like I said, like postpartum depression wise or like more severe, but they didn't really prepare you for the natural change of baby blues. Like no one really talked to you about that. So I wish there was a little bit of discussion and preparation, because it can kind of be concerning to have those feelings and then automatically think that you're ending up with postpartum depression, and then actually in a week you're fine, and then when you research it or talk to other women, they're like, no, that's normal, that's just hormone shift, that's just baby blues, you know. So I wish that it was more talked about the normal feelings versus something of a more serious like postpartum depression. I do think, like I said, across the board we can do a better job as a country of talking about mental health, especially mental health that connects with like pregnancy and things like that. But in general, there are also normal hormone shifts and normal feelings that aren't always like a mental health thing, and so we can also do a better job at talking about that, is all I'm saying. So yeah, baby blues is a thing, and it is completely natural, and it happens because of a hormone shift. And you know, if you're someone who's pregnant or has a family member who you're close to who's pregnant, I would actually recommend you to research it and to ask your doctor and to have them, you know, talk to you about it a little bit, since it's not something that any doctor really brought up to me, or I don't know any of my friends that said that their doctor brought it up to them or anything, but I do think it should be brought up. So you should have an open conversation with your doctor about mental health after pregnancy with your doctor. And if they're not going to bring it up, unfortunately, we sometimes have to be our own advocates. So if you're watching this video and you're like, I'm 6 months pregnant, they've never brought this up, I didn't know what baby blues was as a first time mom, maybe you don't. Yeah, bring it up to your doctor and have them kind of tell you the medical side of it. But that was one thing. And then the other thing that I wish people would have warned me about postpartum is, or not even postpartum, because some people breastfeed, this is about breastfeeding, some people breastfeed well past postpartum, and that's your choice and that's great. But basically, I mean, I would say this one was a little bit postpartum as well, because I think it gets a little better the longer you breastfeed, but it's still there, which is like the physical feelings with breastfeeding, the ones that no one talk about. So I'm not talking about like what it literally feels on your breast to breastfeed. I'm not talking about the bond. Like all those things are great. The bond that you get with breastfeeding is amazing and very unique. The feeling of breastfeeding is like kind of undescribable. You kind of have to do it. All of those things are beautiful, wonderful, natural things, and they are part of it. But no one really warned me of here that when you first start breastfeeding and you're postpartum, you will kind of get cramps and you will feel your uterus contracting, and it's actually good for you and it actually helps you heal, all those things. But I didn't expect them to be so painful. My cramps postpartum when I used to breastfeed were pretty painful. So when I wasn't breastfeeding, my pain level postpartum was pretty minimal. I was able to either take nothing or take regular Motrin, and I was good for the 6 weeks. But when I was breastfeeding, when I would literally latch her, like actively breastfeeding in a session, sometimes those cramps felt like early to intermediate labor, like not gonna lie. So they can get pretty intense, and I wish somebody would have told me that they could get that intense. Also, like, I wish someone would have told me how thirsty and how hungry you get in the actual session. So like the first time I breastfed my daughter Anna, I didn't know anything. I never breastfed a baby before, and I was not breastfed, so my mom could not give me any advice on that. And I don't know if anybody else in my family was really breastfed, but I didn't really have a lot of people to go to. And you know, they only can tell you what they remember. Anyway, the first time I breastfed Anna, I didn't know what I was really doing, and I had the lactation specialist help me. And obviously that was just colostrum. And then when I got home and I was here by myself is when the milk really came in. So that was like our first real breastfeeding session. So it felt a little different than the colostrum. So the first time I actually breastfed her here at home, like actual breast milk, I didn't realize that I would get so thirsty and so hungry. Like, guys, I would finish like 2 bottles of this within a breastfeeding session. And my breastfeeding sessions and most breastfeeding sessions are going to be about 15 minutes to 20 minutes. So in 15 to 20 minutes, I would drink like almost 2 of these. And then I would always have to have snacks. So I know I've seen women say that they have their juice or their coconut water, something really hydrating, and snacks when they breastfeed, but I never really knew the actual feeling, guys. You really do feel like you did a workout and all you did was sit on the couch and breastfeed. And like, it's not all you did because it's amazing, but like, you're not doing an active activity. So you're not prepared to say like, this is gonna be so hard, I'm gonna need so much water, I'm gonna need so much snacks. But that is my tip. Make sure you stock up on your favorite snacks and stock up on some water because you're gonna need it. And this is a big one that I just learned. This is a big one that I just learned that I wanted to share because it's something I'm still kind of going through, journey I'm still going through. So when I gave, the next one is basically that there are postpartum specific workouts for your abs, and they are very important. Thunder, sorry. There are postpartum specific workouts for your abs, and they are more important than you even know. So when I gave birth to Anna and I was breastfeeding, I lost most of my weight, most of the baby weight through breastfeeding. And then I also started working out at about 6 weeks. Well, I started doing walks around 4 weeks postpartum, and then working out a little bit harder 6 weeks and on postpartum, and I was able to lose most of the baby weight, but certain things were just different in my body. So even though weight wise I lost the baby weight, certain things were definitely different, as far as like my hips being wider, my shape being a little bit different. And I just, you know, that's, to me, that was like normal. You gave birth, it's normal. But one thing that I don't like, and I didn't like, and I'm just, you know, it's improving, so I'm gonna say didn't like, but also still working on, so don't like, was like, I never had like an underbelly kind of thing, like they call it like a mommy belly, like basically extra skin from giving birth. So you lost the weight, but like there's still extra skin from the fact that your stomach stretched out and your uterus stretched out. And I, you know, for the whole year now, I've worked out, I've lost the baby weight, but I still kind of don't like the way my stomach looks. Not because like it's fat, because it's not really fat, it's just extra skin. So I don't like the way it looks because there's just extra skin that's just there, and it's kind of annoying. So I didn't realize that all along I've only been doing workouts to lose weight, but I didn't do workouts specifically to tone postpartum abs. So there are specific postpartum ab workouts that are safe for if you struggle with like any type of injury after pregnancy or like ab separation or anything like that. They are safe for that, and they're also specifically targeted to target those lower abs and those mommy problem areas, and those also like your uterine muscles, to help your pelvic floor and to help your muscles. And unless you're doing certain specific postpartum things, then most of the time those little like after pregnancy issues are gonna stick around when they don't have to. So make sure you're doing like something that's actually helping postpartum abs, because what I realized and what I learned is that the only time that your uterus stretches like that, or the only time that your abs kind of are under that much pressure, is during pregnancy. So the way your abs stretch during pregnancy, and the way your uterus expands during pregnancy, and the way your abs are kind of working during pregnancy are not the same as when you genuinely just gain a little weight in the gut. Like, so obviously the workout has to be a little different. So you're gonna lose weight if you work out and eat right and all those things, and your stomach's gonna go down, but you're not gonna heal the pregnancy like the things that changed and shift and kind of, you know, whatever, like the, I don't want to say damage, but the things that, you know, your body went through during pregnancy, they need postpartum care. So the postpartum workouts target your specific muscles that were specifically working, changing, growing, stretching during pregnancy. So it's going to give you your abs back a lot quicker and a lot better and a lot healthier, and it's going to prepare your body better, and therefore, and it's not only going to give you that look, but it also helps you in general to strengthen your pelvic floor, which is super, super important for just general women's health, pelvic health, sexual health, and future pregnancies. So that's why it's so important. Even if you think like, oh, well, I actually was lucky and I lost all the baby weight, it's still important to do postpartum ab workouts to strengthen that pelvic floor even inside, for, like I said, women's health in general and future pregnancies. The thing that I wish someone would have told me, which I found out on my own and I did do, but I think it's not talked about enough because it's amazing, so I'm going to share it here with you guys, is the importance of postpartum massage. So a lot of people know about prenatal massages, and you can't really get prenatal massages in your first trimester, so a lot of women in their second trimester love to get them because it's kind of like the perfect time to get them, and you get pampered and it's so relaxing and things like that. I couldn't get a prenatal massage because they didn't recommend it because of my high blood pressure during pregnancy. If you guys have been following us for a while, you know what I'm talking about. I will link our pregnancy videos up here if you want to check out my full pregnancy story and fertility story. All those things I'll link. But yeah, in general, I did have what they call pregnancy related hypertension. Because of that, the pregnancy was slightly high risk, and when your pregnancy is any high risk, they will not do a prenatal massage. So I couldn't get a prenatal massage, but if you can, you should. I think it's great. But I also think it's important to note postpartum massages. And I got a postpartum massage because my midwife is the one who spoke to me about the benefits of postpartum massage. And she said that, like, you know, what she recommended is, first of all, it's not recommended to get a postpartum massage before 3 months postpartum. So this is something for after 3 months postpartum. I got mine around 5 months postpartum. You know, Sam and I got a babysitter for the day, did a little spa date night, date day, and got massages together, and mine was a postpartum massage. I really recommend it. It was amazing, and I'll tell you why my midwife recommends it. So she said that when you give birth, your ligaments move. There's certain shifts in your ligaments, shifts in your bones, things like that, and it's really, really important for your health, your stature, your general woman's health and reproductive health, and, you know, future pregnancies as well, to realign. And the way to realign that is, one, the pelvic floor workouts, but that's more internal, but external and skeletal wise, massage helps. So one is for that. But the other thing is, if you get an epidural, there's tension in that part of your back and you need it to be released, and you do get that release from a postpartum massage. And I can tell you guys, when I got my postpartum massage, he did take my history and he did ask how far postpartum I was, and I told him 5 months. He did ask if I had a vaginal delivery. I told him yes. And he asked if I got an epidural. And since I did get an epidural, he did an epidural release during the postpartum massage, which basically is the fact that when you get an epidural, it is literally into your spine, into the middle of your spine, and it's going so deep, and it crunches on nerves. And that's why a lot of women who get epidurals have back problems later on in life. So the epidural massage releases the tension and blocks and buildup that the epidural creates, and it just feels amazing. It did hurt for like a second, but then you literally feel the release. It's called epidural release. Like, you literally feel it. So I think postpartum massages are amazing, not only to relax mom in general and to give you those health benefits, but to help your skeletal system. And the other reason my midwife recommended it so much was because she said your body goes through so much joint wise and muscle wise during pregnancy. You're gaining a lot of weight relatively quickly. You are carrying a human inside of you. You know, it can affect your skeletal, your bones, and the massage is what helps kind of get that all back together. So get yourself a postpartum massage once you're clear to do so. And the last thing that I wanted to touch on was just your general health postpartum. And understand that pregnancy does put you at risk for all kind of health factors, and even if you had a healthy pregnancy, things can linger postpartum. So if you guys have been following, you know that one thing that lingered for me was dental issues. I had pregnancy related gingivitis because of like pregnancy steals calcium from your bones, and your teeth are bones. And so my teeth were kind of like weakened by the pregnancy, and all of that could have been solved so simply. I'm not going to get into it because I have a full video on it, so I'll link it up here as well, and you can check out the full video if you want to know what exactly that is, how I'm treating it, and how it affected me postpartum and all of that, because that's all in the video, so I'll link it. But in general, what I'm saying is I didn't know about that, and that wasn't talked about, and it should have been. And in general, take charge of your postpartum health. Know that there are a lot of things that can happen postpartum. There's a lot of things that pregnancy can affect that are not known till after. So what I would do is, after you are, I would say about 3 months postpartum, I would get a full physical and make sure you note to your doctor, note to your primary care. They should probably already know, but just remind them that you are postpartum. Ask them about any long-term effects about your specific pregnancy. So tell them about your specific pregnancy, ask them about long-term effects, get the physical and let them check you out. Also get a dental exam, because the dental issues are actually pretty common. So I would get a physical and a dental exam after pregnancy to just rule out anything that may have been affecting your body that was kind of hidden, or any kind of like lingering things from hormone imbalances, things that could happen during pregnancy. So I hope you guys learned something. If you are pregnant, I hope you learned something that maybe you didn't know that could help you on your journey to postpartum. Like, share, subscribe. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys next week.